Hi, everybody. Welcome to El Paso Jazz Girls Live 2021. My name is Amanda Eckery, and I am the founder and director of El Paso Jazz Girls. This is our fourth annual summer program, and it's been a privilege to work with so many wonderful females this week. El Paso Jazz Girls' mission is to empower girls in a supportive community that fosters self-expression, confidence, and collaboration. And that's exactly what we did all week. We were on Zoom, writing, recording, and producing new music, learning about theory and improvisation, and we discussed the challenges, joys, and mindsets needed to support each other and ourselves. El Paso Jazz Girls has wonderful teaching artists, which, wouldn't make this week possible without them. They're extraordinary professional musicians and caring teachers. We also were lucky this week to have Erica Madrid and Chantel Camus join our teaching staff, as they are El Paso Jazz Girls alumna. And they join Lindsay Vasco, Grace Ward, Stephanie Munoz, myself, and Dr. Joyce Yu. I'm going to turn it over to Joyce now to talk a little about what she did this week.
Hi everyone, I'm Joyce. I'm a trombone player and a freelancer at DFW area. This is my third year with El Paso Jazz Girls, and it's been a wonderful experience every time I come back and teach. And Amanda keeps on doing just amazing things with this camp. So I did this week, I think upper level theory, music theory, and a clinic on musicians' mental health, which was a lot of fun to do. But yeah, it's been a blast, and I can't wait to hear what's on the concert.
Awesome, thanks, Joyce. So let's get to the music. I'm going to turn it over to Grace now to introduce our first song of the night.
Hey there, I'm Grace, and our first song is called The Color Yellow, and this was our first song that we wrote together as an ensemble, and I think it was definitely just a way to get to know each other. We worked on kind of writing our own little pieces, our own little sections, and then worked together as an ensemble to arrange it and to teach it to each other and to add parts on top of what we initially came up with. And yeah, I'm going to turn it over to Amanda to play it.
Woo! I love that one. I love the drums on it, and I love that there's like bassoon in it. So many of our participants this year are multi instrumentalists, which I think is super wonderful, and they've been utilizing all their skills this week. And I'm going to pass it over to Layra now, who's going to introduce our next song. Layra is also a multi instrumentalist, harmonica and violin, and I'll turn it over to her now to introduce our next song.
So how we wrote it, we were used low and deep sounds to form something calming. And our band name is Trans Expanse, and our song is called Pillow Song.
I also just want to take a moment to explain what you're seeing too. These are the recordings that participants have put into this program called Soundtrap to make this music. So all these lines that you're seeing are them recording their own instruments, their own voices into this program, which they've edited, produced, put effects on, all that stuff to create these songs. And that one was a lovely lullaby pillow song. Our next song is going to be introduced by Sorrel.
Okay, so this next song is called Spot Song, and kind of like a song based off of a narrative that we collectively came up with, like during a game of telephone, sort of, or where you like everybody takes turns adding stuff to the story. What we came up with was there's this guy, and it's his birthday, and he's walking to the local bakery to pick up a cake that he'd ordered. So the first section of the song is describing this moment, and then he gets his cake, and he's really excited now because he's about to go home and enjoy his cake. So the music starts to pick up. He trips and he drops his cake, and he's shocked. His excitement turns into shock. So everything just stops. But then this dog comes up and then starts eating his stuff. And it's a really cute dog. So he's not too sad about it. It's a bittersweet moment. So in the end, he decides to adopt the dog after finding out that it belonged to a shelter. He was like a runaway, and he names him Spot. And while filling out the paperwork, he finds out that it was also the dog's birthday. So everything works out in the end. Hope you enjoy.
Ooh, I like that one too. All these are so nice. Yeah, I love it in the comments we're reading as we go. This is the first time that a lot of us have heard each other's songs too, because we've been in breakout rooms. So one group is hearing each other's songs, so it's a premiere for both of us. Our next song is going to be introduced by Chantel.
Hello, everyone. I'm here in New York City, and I miss being back in El Paso, but I'm glad I'm able to be part of this organization. And I'm just gonna say the previous song, it should be a Pixar movie. I I had the whole movie in my head. But this song that we're playing next, it is called Midnight Clouds. And the way we came up with it was we first came up with the groove. First, we always laid down like, you know, the bass and the drums, the background music, and then we started putting our own melody, violins, flute, and I hope you guys enjoy this Midnight Clouds.
Yes, very spooky. I'm reading some comments in the chat leading up to a fight scene, something cool. Chantel's changed her background to our spooky clouds in the distance. I want to introduce I'm sorry, not Chantel. Chantel, you already talked. Stephanie Munoz, who's another one of our teaching artists this week. Stephanie has been with us since our very beginning, first program 4 years ago, and so I want to turn it over to her to say a few things.
Thank you, Amanda. Oh my gosh, all of these pieces are absolutely phenomenal. I love how much character they all have. I also love that, like, the introduction, right? Where you're letting us into the world of like what you all were thinking when you were in this space. Like, it really does translate. And I'm just so incredibly proud of all of you. I also want to do a huge shout out back to Amanda. I mean, she doesn't get enough credit. I've been a part of this since the beginning, and just seeing every single year how much it's growing, but most importantly, organically, and it's coming from you all, the participants. Like, she's just somebody who's so easygoing and just like loves to hear feedback and say like, what is it that you want? And she just makes it happen. And I think that it sounds a lot easier. It's easier said than done. But also I think that last year was incredibly difficult for all of us on so many different levels. And even though this year we're still virtual, it's still a really amazing thing because this is El Paso Jazz Girls, right? Those of us who are born and raised in El Paso, hey, I'm born and raised in El Paso, right? We know how far-fetched other things seem. Everything just seems so far away all the time, right? Like thinking of New York, thinking of the East Coast, thinking of the other side of the world. Yet after 4 years from our first program, here we are, you know, like Chantal's in New York, I'm in Boston, Joyce is on the other side of the world. And so it's just like so cool in just such a short amount of time, how far this really truly is expanding. And at the end of the day, I think what's really amazing too, if we closed our eyes and listened to this music, you wouldn't be able to tell that it's music performed and composed by girls. You would just say, whoa, that music's really cool and it's really dope. And really that's the goal, is for you all to be in a space where you can be 100% authentically yourselves, to not be intimidated, to really just let your imagination go free and shine, and just to create. And so you all have done such a phenomenal job this week, and I hope to see you next year. And again, thanks to Amanda and of course all the other amazing staff for just making all of this happen. It's really amazing.
Thank you, Stephanie. And with that, we have one more song to premiere, and Shreya is going to tell us about it.
Thanks, Amanda. Our last composition tonight is Spring Waltz. As inspiration for this piece, we listened to Miles Davis, an incredible jazz trumpet player who was beyond his time. Using what we learned, we came up with a groovy funk riff that was completely created from scratch as our introduction. Later in the piece, you will also hear 4 outstanding solos by Sorrel on saxophone, Joey on viola, myself, Shreya, on vibraphone, and Erica on saxophone. This piece has it all, so we hope you enjoy.
Yay! Everybody, give yourselves a round of applause. This is amazing. This song is a vibe. That last one, I'm reading the comments in the chat. Yeah, like Stephanie was saying, each of these songs has such a character of their own. They're so different, they're so varied, and all of you contributed your whole selves to helping create that. And so we're super proud of the work that you created, and I hope that you all are as well. I want to take this moment to thank a few people. So first of all, thank you to the El Paso Community Foundation and to our El Paso Giving Day donors. I read a study that came out actually just 3 days ago by the USC Annenberg Inclusion Institute, which reported that in the last decade, only 12.6% of songwriters, 2.6% of music producers, and 3% of audio engineers were women. And El Paso Jazz Girls is helping to combat these demographics at no cost to students. And it's through the generous support of donors and foundations like the El Paso Community Foundation that make our mission and this work possible. So thank you so much. Thank you to all our participants, your families, your band directors, your orchestra directors, everybody who's helped make this week as wonderful as it has been. And thank you to everybody watching and supporting us today. You can follow us on Facebook and Instagram at EP Jazz Girls. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. We share a lot of content from the week, behind the scenes kind of stuff, fun things that we've done this week, as well as future events and opportunities that are available. So if you're interested in learning more, find us on social media. And with that, it's the end of our El Paso Jazz Girls Live event 2021. I hope you all enjoyed all the music, and I hope you all have a nice evening wherever you may be. I'm going to play one more time our Popcorn song. It's called Popcorn by Trans Expanse, which is one of the bands this week, which is like the perfect intro and exit music. Also, Chantel was saying that it's like the YouTube waiting vibe. Perfect. If anybody wants to copyright this song, publish it, give the royalties to Trans Expanse, it is available. But let me share it, and thank you all so much for joining us this evening.